Okay, Chaver, we're going to take it from the top. The beginning of the parak. The plan, optimally, is to try to chazar the whole parak this week, with a siyum at the end of the week or the beginning of next week. Lamaisa, we have a good 8.5 blot, so it's a lot of blot to do. What we'll do is we'll ensure at night we'll start from the top. We'll do as much as we can, and then the Eilam by day should chazar that, and maybe even keep on moving. And whenever everyone feels they are ready to party, we'll party. If it takes a week, it takes a week. It takes 2 weeks, it takes 2 weeks. Okay, we're all ready to go?
Is there going to be some sort of test?
The bigger question is
so we have to start planning this year. So the chevra that came by the launch, the chevra from 60 Haley, wants to give us a fair. That's what he said. He wants to give a fair.
he'll give you something.
You want me to give a fair? No, and they'll give a monetary incentive. Price. I give a fair also, whatever Leilam wants. We could all do fairs. Whoever wants a fair. Who do you want? Whatever Leilam wants. Hayoshin tachas hamita. As always, what do you say? There you go. As always, the Chazarah, we're going to go a job faster. But now is the time, if anything is not clear, let's get it clear. Yoshi tachas hamita is someone who sleeps under the bed. B'sukkah. So the Mishnah begins that you're not yotze if you sleep under the sukkah. Says Rav Yehuda, we were no yeg. This is what we did. We slept under the sukkah b'fnei as the kingdom of Lamar Lano. They didn't tell us anything. Amar Rav Shimon, Ma'isa b'tevi avdu Rav Gamliel, the servant b'tevi the servant of Rav Gamliel sheyoshi nachas amita. He was sleeping under the bed. Rav Gamliel said, "It's the kingdom. Reisiv tevi avdi. Do you see my servant? Shutam l'chacham. V'yodein. He knows." He knows he's potter, that's why he's under the bed. That's why he's under the bed. And from this conversation, from the Sichas Talmidei Chachamim, from their words, we learn if you sleep under the bed, you're not yotzei your obligations. Here begins the conversation. Why are you not yotzei, and what exactly is going on? Says the Gemara, a kasha, which is a little bit of a odd kasha, difficult kasha, v'leka asara, but you don't have 10 tefachim. A very tall bed, 10 tefachim, which is approximately 40 inches, a ballpark, which is, I don't know, what's 40 inches? We're talking about 3 feet. That's a pretty tall bed, right? I don't think the average bed is 3 feet tall. But says the Gemara, that's the case. Kacha, take it or leave it. And that is what the Gemara says. Tanana, we learned over there. If we have a hollow, a hole that was chiseled by water, or by creepy crawlies, or was eaten through by corrosive materials, and a stack of beams, a pile of, very good, pile of boulders, stack of beams, thank you, Malil avanim, beams. Rocks, boulders, same thing. Avan, or a stack of beams. In all of these cases, ma'ahil ala toma. It creates an oyel on top of the toma. Rav Yehuda call oil she'nasib b'dei adam. This is the statement that's going to propel us to the next Blat. Any oil that's not made b'dei adam is not an oil. And Rashi says, very good. They're important words. It's not a vart if it's made by b'dei adam or not. Is it made b'kavana or not? If it's made b'kavana, it has a din of an oil. If it's not made b'kavana to pashtos, not made b'kavana to protect underneath it, doesn't have a din of an oil. My time. And that's why, very good. That's why Review to the Mishnah said
to sleep under it.
Very good, which is a point that's going to come clear all the way at the bottom of Chavav, but very good. My time with the Review, this says where Review to get this din from. Yalef ayol ayol mimish kan latabu Chavav Amid Aleph. He learns out ayol from Mishkan. It says over here, so he said to Adam Kiyam Ayol. It says with regard to din of Tumah V'Taira. This is the halacha someone who dies in the tent, and it says over there, "Vayifrois es oil al mishkan Moshe Rabbeinu spread out oil on the tent. Mal ahalon b'dei adam Moshe Rabbeinu spread it out. Avkan over here by the dinim tumah v'tayra. We learn out from the word oil b'dei adam. It has to be b'dei adam, which means, of course, it has to be kavanah to build it. V'rabbanan. So how do the rabbanan do? What do the rabbanan do? It seems like a gavaldik gzera shava. V'rabbanan oil riba. The actual pasuk is marbe. Actual word is marbe. V'savar Rav Yehuda says the word. Does Rav Yehuda really hold kol oil she'enoi? What do you mean? What's your question? Yeah, if you look at the top Rashi says there's many times it says oil. So the excess word oil in the Torah, they learn it out from, not from a good old-fashioned Gzera Shava. Meaning, to say it a little bit better, Gzera Shava means it's something unique that these two psukim have a word that connects it. But if that same word is found countless times within all those psukim, then it doesn't do anything to us. Says the Gemara, does Rav Yehuda really hold of this? I'll ask you a contradiction. They were built courtyards. Where are these courtyards built? Number one, Al Gabe Sel, on top of bedrock. Vitachteihem Chalal, and underneath the bedrock they left a cavity, an airspace of a tefach. Another, that's number two reason why it's not going to contract tumah from underneath it. So no tumah, if there's any dead body underneath there, it shouldn't come up and make anyone inside this chutz or inside this courtyard tummy. And then what would they do with the Imnash and Ibrais? They would bring the pregnant woman, they'd open up a hospital, and they would give birth over there so that the baby is born in the utmost tahayra, the utmost purity. And they would raise the children there for the para aduma. And now, so far, we have Selah. It was built on bedrock. There's a cavity underneath it. The baby is born there, so from the moment of its birth, it's going to be tahar. Now we bring these oxen. They have doors in the back of the oxen. Why are there doors in the back of the oxen? We will see in a moment. And the child's riding in the back of the ox. And it's holding a cup of stone. Why stone? It's not makabel tumah. They reach the fresh spring, and this is the first moment in the child's life that it's going out of its bubble of utmost purity and protection, potentially. The child would get off the back of the animal with his cup, go into the water, and fill up the cup with water. Va'alu would go back up, and then they would go back. So now they have the water for the ashes of the para aduma with, we'll call it 99% potential that it's pure. What's the 99%? Because maybe as the child went down, there's one moment of time it could have become Tommy. Rav Yosi, no, I even want to take care of that one moment. The child wouldn't even get off the back of the ox. From his place in the back of the ox, lashon of shilshel, lashon of going down, lashon of lowering. They would lower down the cup, and fill up the cup, because of the tumah in the depths. V'tanya, that's the brisa. And on this brisa we learned, Rav Yehuda Imer lo yahya mevi'in delasais, said Rav Yehuda they would not bring the doors, ella shvarim. The child would sit on the ox itself. End of brisa. Now the Gemara articulates its question on Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda just taught us kol oil shein asa b'dei adam einay oil. Asks the Gemara, vashvarim, this ox is the oil shein asa b'dei adam. It's an oil that is not created from mankind. Who? And yet v'katani Rav Yehuda Aimer lo yahya mevi'in delasais. They would not bring a door, ella shvarim. Rather the child would sit on the ox, and we're assuming right now that the ox would block the tumah from going upward. And the kasha is, how could that be? According to Rav Yehuda, this ox was not created to be an oil, therefore it should not be an oil, so therefore it should not protect from tumah. Answers the Gemara. Is that kasha clear? It was a complicated kasha, but I think we all got it. Anyone has any questions, don't be bashful. Kiyasa, Rav Dimi, I'll take that as a yes. Kiyasa, Rav Dimi, I'm Rav Elazar. Maida Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda is Maida Kimoli Egroif. When there is an airspace, when the size of this entity, I should say, is a Mali Egroif, is the size of a fist, then Rav Yehuda is a Maida, that even though it is not created to be an oil, it will, yes, have a din of an oil. Tani Nami Achriv, a brisa that corroborates this point. Maida Rav Yehuda, B'shakifin u'menakike asolayim, when we have these uprooted boulders and when we have these rock crevices, Rav Yehuda is Maida, that since they are larger, therefore they get the din of an oil, even without being made b'kavana.
Not the maskana. You could ask, what about the bed?
Very good. Which is almost, it's a first cousin to the Kashli Maras Valdas, which, by the way, that's sort of the reason I was thinking, why doesn't Rashi, let me just make sure I'm correct with what I'm about to say, I think I am. Rashi, and this whole shtickle Torah never really pulled it back into the Mishnah. Usually, when the Gemara began, we're trying to figure out the sheet of Rav Yehuda, which is going to come back to the Mishnah. Why didn't Rashi ever say, and this is why Rav Yehuda, the Mishnah allows you to sleep under the bed? He never really said that. He sort of just lets it go. Usually Rashi doesn't do that. Usually Rashi, being the good Rebbe, tells us right away, by the way, this is why. I was thinking maybe it's because of what you're saying, because this is not going to be the maskana. So when we get to that maskana, then we're going to plug it back in. But either way,
on the bottom of Chaf, all those cases, it's not Mali Egrif?
It is Malei Egrif, Hagufa, exactly. And therefore, that's the problem. So that's why the math doesn't add up. That's exactly what we're about to see. Meaning, if you're not going to say Rav Yehuda if something's not going to change, we're going to be in an issue right now. That's what Rav Shashi was pointing out also. Pointed at the same point.
All those cases of the rocks and the stones and everything.
The rocks and the stones, maybe not, but the case of the Mishnah, yeah.
I'm talking about the stack.
No, that lavdafka, we don't know. Maybe it's not a Malay Agrov. Maybe you have a stack of stones with a little airspace in the middle. Yeah, those cases, correct. I'm sorry, correct. Says the Gemara, Vari Deles, but the door, the door is certainly bigger. And yet, Rav Yehuda says they didn't bring a door, rather they brought the axe. So what's going on? Why not? Amar Abaye Loyo. Rav Yehuda said you don't need to. You're able to. You don't need to because it's going to be the same thing. Shot number one. Rava Amar. Rava teaches us a tremendous insight in chinuch. Loy mevi'in delasais kol iker. Don't bring doors. Why don't you bring doors? And remember, these are children that were born into this bubble of purity to be raised with the utmost purity. And still says Rava, don't bring a door. Why not? Because you put the kid on a door, you let the kid go surfing, what's going to happen? The kid's going to get gas, the kid's going to get horny, the kid's going to be like, hey, this is cool. And it might stick his head or one of his hands, and become tummy. And of course, you have to realize the severity of this. They obviously prepped the kid his entire life for this moment. I don't know whatever the age the kid was, 5, 6, 7 years old, he's being told one day is going to come and you're going to have the special privilege of going out and getting the water, and don't stick your head out. You stick your head out, it's going to mess up the whole thing. And even still a kid in the utmost purity, in the utmost bubble, kids are kids, and absolutely incredibly yisoid.
Because they tell him not to do it.
Yeah, chleisnish. And then now we can all begin with our own shatim. Aber we see klar that kids are kids. We'll repeat over. I think everyone knows famously Rav David Trank used to repeat from Ramat Yisrael Salomon that line. That kids are kids, and he would say it about adults also. Say, they're just being kids. Don't take it so seriously. Don't get so upset. Someone makes a mistake. Kids are kids. Weiter. So that's the line over here. And with that, we move onward. Excuse me. Givaldik. We have two terutzim. What's going on with the doors according to Rav Yehuda? Tanya Kavasi de Rava, the Tabo Chavalev Amid Beis. We have a raya to Rava, which is the second teretz. Rav Yehuda Imer Leiv Mevi and Telos is Kol Iker. Why? They bring these Egyptian oxen, and Rachava, big fat bellies. Period. And now, as we finally figured out what's going on there, Rav Yehuda, we go all the way full circle back with our Mishnah. What's going on with the bed in our Mishnah? The bed certainly has many fistfuls, and yet how are you able to sleep under the bed? The bed should be big enough. It should have a din of an oil, even though it's not made b'kavana, even though it's an oil, even though it's in oil sheina asa b'di adam, it's not made b'kavana. It should still have a din of an oil, and therefore it should it should mess you up for beginning the cycle. Answers the Gemara, and now we have to take it a job slower. Shiny meat to teres lambron hoil gaba asuya. The bed is made to be on top of it. It's made to sleep on it. Says Gemara, shkoyach shvar nami legabana asuya. Oxen are the same thing. Kias Rav and Rav Laza shiny shvarim teres number 2. Hoil meginin ala royim becham neacham gsham neacham. That a shar has a usage that's not for the top. So now we're fine-tuning different ways of learning this line of the Gemara. But we're just fine-tuning. We're saying by a bed is made exclusively, we think, to sleep on it. Whereas by a shar, we're showing it also has other usages that it blocks from the sun. Says the Gemara, Yachi mitanami. The bed should be the same thing. We can find that same auxiliary sidebar usage of a bed. You put your shoes and your sandals underneath it. Ela Omar Rava Sanupshat. Shiny shvarim asuyan. They are created. The creation of the shar is not ligabon, is not to be on top of it, but rather to protect on its innards. And as we pointed out, Top Taisus points out that all those who know Nach were very bothered by this pasuk, which is none of us, unfortunately. That the pasuk is not talking about an animal. The pasuk is talking about a human being. So what does it mean? So it just means that it's a kol shkein, certainly about an animal. Teretz number one. So what's teretz number one? That a shar is made bidafka for the purpose of being Megan, whereas a bed is not. And therefore, according to Rav Yehuda, even though, let's just appreciate the chiddush, even though the bed is kamei groifen, the bed is very large, in that case, Rav Yehuda will not admit and will not mess you up for being inside the sukkah, because the bed is made for one primary kavana, which is for upwards. Weiter. Teretz number one. So if we were to ask in the Mishnah, what is the reason, according to Rav Yehuda, allowed to sleep under the bed of the sukkah? According to Teretz number one, it's the reason is al gaba asuya. Shvarim also made to be on top of it. No, they're not. Shvarim are made to protect on the innards. V'yibay same Teretz number two. Rav Yehuda l'taimei. Rav Yehuda l'shita segishmak. Ta'amar sukkah diras keva b'inan. Rav le'mit diras harai. V'sukkah oyel keva. V'osel harai v'ata oyel keva. Einachanami, says Rav Yehuda. You're right. It should have a din of an oil, but l'maisa the sukkah is a better oil, and therefore in the overwhelming world of oil, the sukkah wins out. Rav Shimon, Ta'amar nami sukkah diras keva b'inan. And yet, V'osel oil harai v'ata oyel keva. In Pahapli, this is good for the machlokes of Yehuda and Rav Shimon. Mar savar savar b'atel oyel keva, mar savar lo sil rai, u'mavatel oyel keva. Let's just go a drop further to the Mishnah. I know we're already 16 minutes in. Omer Rav Shimon, ma'isiv tevet avdi. Tanya Rav Shimon misichosoi, for the conversation of Rav Gamliel l'manu shnei devarim. Number one, the manu javad b'tu min sukkah. Why? Mitzvah says man grama, which reminds us of the whole sukkah that we learned about women. Number two, over the manu javad b'tu I believe midvarov. What do you mean misicha from his conversation? Say from the words of Rav Gamliel. Melsa gavorche k'mash. Suddenly just another din. Ki adam ravacha bar ada. V'amlam ravacha bar ada. Amar Rav Hamnuna. Amar Rav Anayin shavil sichas tamid chams vichan limod. You don't have to learn from the conversations. Shemar va'alehu lo yibol, that their leaves, not just the main part of the tree, even the leaves lo yibol do not wither. Chaver the avodah tomorrow is we just did a full blot. Baruch Hashem. Is to chaz the full blot, and maybe that's what we should try to do. If we could do a blot a day, but again, if we just run through it and we don't really know it, then it's pointless. Then we should slow down. So please, feedback if anyone wants to slow down, fast up, whatever it is.